sister had been found dead in her bed, probably suicide. And I went back to the guest house and was in a quandary what to do. It was hot. I hadn't observed the fact that she was dead yet, but I wanted to be with her. I didn't know what to do. I threw myself across the bed in the heat. And I heard a voice say, "It's okay. I'm where I want to be." It was her voice, and she was where she wanted to be.
The perception of hearing a loved one's voice is not a sign of mental illness. Mental illness would be perceiving or hearing things that are not related to the death of the loved one.
This is Douglas in Greece, which was one of his favorite places, on a boat. He loved boats. Well, my partner Doug and I were together for 20 years. Since his death 2 years ago, I have often felt his presence in my life, and at times of maximum unhappiness, he has found ways to let me know he's around. And I guess the first really startling one was a few days after he died. I woke at 4 in the morning, again in one of those terrible low places where you just, it's like a panic. You feel like you can't breathe. You feel like if you can't see or speak to that person now, that you're just not going to survive. I don't know how to explain it except to say it's like a panicky feeling. You can't get your breath. And I was wandering around the apartment feeling sorry for myself when suddenly he did the thing he used to do when he wanted to really kind of tease me and bring me out of a bad mood. He took his hand and went down my back like this, just as if he was standing there. It was a real hand and a real thumb. And when he hit the bottom of my sweatshirt, there was a loud popping crackle. It felt as though he had broken through some kind of plane into this plane, and then in the process of going back, it made a crack, a pop, and it was over. But I went from crying to laughing in just a few seconds.
I can share with you a part of my own experience of having a dream about a friend who, actually a colleague who committed suicide. And I had a dream shortly after she died, which would fall under the category of an ADC. And I was very taken aback by the dream. It was very vivid, and she was on one side of a revolving door, and I was on the other side, and I was asking her to come back, and she had no intention of coming back. And the next day I called a colleague of mine because I was concerned about myself and my own emotional stability. And he said, after I told him the dream, he said, "You've had a privileged look at the other side." That was his response.
Things you gotta do. You gotta try and reach us, and you gotta try and have the Jets win Sunday night. That'll be good.
Why does he tell me he's the #1 son? Can I interpret that he's the only son?
Yes.
Oh, that's why he said before you've lost your future.
Grief is a process that takes time to resolve, sometimes many years. And no one experience will resolve a grief state.
Is he trying to tell me his name is Robert?
Yes.
Oh, duh.
But it is conceivable that seeing a medium could aid that process.
See you, pal. My name is Ellen Conroy, and I work in a bank.
My name is Bob Conroy. I was a New York City Marine cop. I retired back in 1981. Massapequa Park is about 35 miles from the center of Manhattan.
We've lived here for 35 years, and all of my children were raised in this house. Our faith has not been shattered. We do not blame God for taking Robert.
It's shaken my faith some, but I mean, like she says, it's the only thing that you have to hang on to. But was I angry? And I'm still a little angry. You know, we had a good thing going.
Pop, there's There's always been a time we've all needed you.
Robert was my father's best friend.
There's always been a time we've all had problems.
I truly believe that my dad will never be happy again.
I do too.
The light just went out of his life when Robert died. Robert loved to party. Robert loved a good party, loved a good Budweiser.
The last party we had was my wedding. People thought that we were husband and wife.
St. Patrick's Day was a very important day, huge for Robert and the family.
And every 7th year when it was on a Friday, that was it.
That was a home run.
He had such an enthusiasm.
He was a clown. I loved to joke.
He was a great uncle to all of his nieces and nephews.
Bob.
And he was just scoop them up and kiss them and just loved them when they were around. And my third child is on the way. And I'm happy about it, of course, you know, but he'll never even know this child.
We were at Connor's party on
Connor's
Saturday. He was
our grandson.
2 years old. And we had a wonderful day. The whole family was there.
Everything just went great that day. Everybody was in a good mood. The kids were good. Everybody was just sitting around the dining room table, and all I can remember is hearing laughter.
Love Connor!
He talked to us like at 20 to 8 that evening on Sunday. And the next thing, 20 minutes later, we got a phone call that he was rushed to Huntington Hospital.
My phone rang. My sister Valerie called, and she said that she'd gotten a phone call from my mother saying that Robert was taken to Huntington Hospital and he had no vital signs.
By the time we had gotten there, they said he had expired, that his heart burst, he had a heart aneurysm, and there was nothing they could do about it.
It was like a movie because you just couldn't believe it. You just could not believe that he was gone.
He was watching a movie. Grumpy old man. He laughed out loud, and he died. That was it.
You just sit there and you're like, come back, that's all you want to say.
It's always still disbelief.
It's like, don't let us live without you forever.
You start to question, like, you know, will you really see Robert again? Like, you know, the Robert who used to sit out with me on the deck that he built and split a beer with me. I mean, is it going to be that Robert?
And when we do see him, am I going to be old and is he going to be young? And obviously, I guess he's going to be 34.
What are we going to do there? Like,
yeah.
And who crossed him over? You know, who did he see on the other side?
Is he with his aunt, Bob's sister, who died in 1978, who was his godmother?
Is he making other people laugh? Is he dancing? Like, these are things that, is somebody else enjoying our brother?
What is heaven? Where is it? What is it? What is it about? Is he happy? Does he see us? I don't know.
I don't know how much connection up there has with down here. It's a mystery. I don't know what to think.
You know, it might not be Robert that comes through. Will you be disappointed? When you came to us and asked us if we would be interested in being part of a reading with George Anderson, we said fine. We would, if Robert was trying to reach us, that it would be fine with us. Oh well, we'll be on our way soon.
I hope the reading gives them some sort of peace, or us peace. Especially for my folks, because my heart just breaks, you know, even just talking to them, seeing them, and, you know, the life stuff goes on and everything, but for them it doesn't. I mean, they're going through the motions.
To know what they were like before and to see it's a slow deterioration. I mean, watching them is horrible. It's just so sad.
I always had my doubts about mediums. I thought a lot of hocus pocus. But hopefully something will come of it that we can all feel a little bit better about. If that happens, then it's all worthwhile. It's all worthwhile.
Hi.
Hi.
Just make yourselves comfortable on the sofa, please. Okay, now, before we begin, I just want to set up some preparation. First of all, solemnly swear you've never spoken to me in any way, shape, or form until this absolute moment. Okay.